Namaskar. I'm Kumar Rakesh and you're watching Global Governance News TV. Today we are going to discuss very serious issue about the Muslim, about the Islam, the followers of Islam living in Bharat, but they don't consider themselves a real Indian, real Bharatiya. Why? What for? You are living here, your birthplace is Bharat, but always sing the song for Middle East in the name of religion. Why not Rashtra Pratham for you? Bharat Pratham, India first. Why not? What's the reason behind it? Last 75 years, we have been celebrating the 75th anniversary of India's freedom. But why not we just declare himself? What's the reason behind it? Who is responsible for that? Matter of concern. And how the religious violence, the root cause of religious violence in Bharat, will also discuss on the issue. So, very serious question. Just I am going to discuss now. Why not allowed to talk the pain caused by century of humiliation, destruction of temples, violation of jizya tax, forced partition. Who is responsible? Who are the responsible? We have that is why the who is responsible? Education system, madrasa system. Why do the educators, academics, intellectuals, media have difficulty answering the basic questions? No any media houses and discussion. What's the reason behind it? Why not ask that Maulana and the clerics? Why are you just doing like that? What's the reason behind it? Why you are doing like that? No, you can't look inside Gyan Babi Mosque. What's the reason? The plea pending in Supreme Court. Where is the court? Stop videography. Why stop videography? You should be, I think, judicious. Your eye should be judicial eye. And suppose that something called Place of Worship Act, and that, what nonsense. If the church could come back and have the argument with the Galileo all over again, they will certainly appreciate the jail to make the facts illegal. You can't ban history on the basis of ideology, on the basis of religion. But what we are doing, what we are trying, you are trying just totally opposite. More than 7 decades of independence, we have served ourselves with an invented version of history. What a history! Since just till Nehru was Prime Minister, he died on 17th May 1964. All education minister was the only one caste, that is a Muslim. So they try to distort the history according to their needs, not the requirements, not the culture with Bharat. This is a matter of concern for the thinking for everybody. And the Muslim emperor were, and just whatever the history, no, the Muslim emperor never destroyed any temple. You can understand? Can you imagine this? All the mostly temples have been converted in the mosque. More than 2,000 mosques. There is already recorded list. Before 70 years, before 50 years, before 40 years, before 100 years. Or just, you see, the last 497 years, we fought for the Ram Mandir, the existence of the Ramas in Ayodhya. How the narratives form, how the counter was done, how they are advocating there, how all the archaeology survey India record was there. So this is a political region, economic region, a military region, but never for religious regions. Whatever. Even their emperor gave themselves titles such as destroyer of idols, killer of infidels, inscribed these of their swords. They have no clue about what they are doing, what they describe themselves in own words, but to interpret their thoughts for them. If some about the lies is taken back, such as the Aryan invasion is theory, but they were replaced by the new. The migration might sound inoffensive. Migration is a global, I think, problem. I thought you see that USA, any part of the world, due to this migratory birds, uh, 57 Islamic countries have been formed. Just see the how the uh, start and how they now today, how they're taking the only tune of the um, Islamic tunes, not the Humanitic tunes. But you see the uh, it's such the not only one place they use the visual word the Qutub Minar and the adjoining mosque built by the using portion of 27 Hindus and Jain temples area. Go to the Hampir in Karnataka, you will find a plaque that was your explicitly some people are 1565 battles of the Talikota in which the Deccan Sultans destroyed the Vijayanagar Empire as a release conflict. But it is not. It was a result of political changes in Deccan. Imagine the panic over the so-called secularism. So my argument is we should change the nature of the secularism, what you are claiming now. Why? On the other hand, the order to make up these political changes from Hindu and Muslims, they have to invent religious wars between the Hindus themselves. And you see the narratives you'll find in the different media house, the violence against Muslim. Muslim created violence, Muslim instigated the violence, Muslim involved the violence, and narratives, how the narratives, world narratives and the paper, Muslim against, oh my God, against the violence against Muslims. I remember I have been the Godhra 2002. How the narrative just destroyed, they diverted. Who initiated first? This is open fact. The Muslim just burned the more than 54 people in the train. My God, I can't remember. After that, repercussion was there. So again, just almost could call a conflict between the Vaishnava and Seva. Confliction everywhere. Go to any place of historic significance in Bharat, you will realize the history have real problem saying the word Hindu. They always either the Vaishnava or Saiv, trying to just conflict. They did not use the Sanatan Hindus. So there is also confliction with the Muslim Islam, Shia, Sunni, and there are more than 36. The most extreme and now fashionable version of this lie, Sanatan Hindu religion that was invented in late 19th and 20th century in order to oppress the backward caste. Can you believe it? Who led this conspiracy? Apparently, it was Mahatma Gandhi-like person. Yes, the academic left is crazy and out of control and has been. So how do they are trying to us? There's common sense and there is sometimes the mass clips. We catch them in act. So for instance, the scholar who tried to include the our official university syllabus, there was a connection between the Modi, Hindutva writers and the strike at the US Capitol and Jan 2021. So she did the based on the social media rumors. Not even that lady checked the facts. They did not affect in standing one bit in community of historians. She remains a celebrated scholar in the reign of Aurangzeb. We can understand how the narratives form on the basis of the fake news. Just this narrative of Nupur Sharma. The basis of the fake news, hate speech. If you see, I think the facts, whatever hurry of the government of India, I don't know. Why they just take decision in haste, I don't know. This may be the problem of government of India, Modi government and the bureaucrats. But facts is fact, truth is truth. So this is a matter of history also. And if you say I wake up every morning in a house that's built by the slave. And I just quote that Michelle Obama famously said that 2016 Democratic Nation Convention, it caused the uproar at the time. Could it be the White House, the West Capitol, and other cherished symbols of American democracy have slave labor built into them? The historians intervened and said the answer was yes. The symbolic significance of African American president now occupying the most prestigious address in America, mentioned was built by the slaves, had to be celebrated. So there is many things, many stories we have to see, investigate. So why the India was called the great Muslim conqueror version of history? In this narrative, the Hindus were also too passive, squabbling among themselves, deserving the subjugation until the great Muslim conqueror comes along, providing unity, strength, greatness. So that's just what nonsense. Why are the Hindus being denied the privilege of re-examine the narratives? So why we're not allowed to talk about the pain caused by the centuries of humiliation, destruction of temples, and humiliation of the Jizya tax, and ultimately the forced partition of India. So my appeal to the Muslims, in spite you enjoying the all happiness with all, now you are claiming the country of the Allahs. I think is more than 57 countries. Why don't you go there? If you are not happy in Bharat, in India, if you are so feel uh, insecure, what's the problem in this? But now you see the new slogans of Mr. Madni, Maulana Asad Madni, Jamaat Ulma Hind, those जिनको हमारा हमारा कौम पसंद नहीं हो भारत छोड़ चला जाए. Those who don't want to just understand ourselves and don't like us, they should leave the country. They will not. See the narratives, how they are trying to make the fop the narratives, and why. This is intense and shows in their mind, separatist mind, always try to separate. All just I think the hereditary character of the Jinnah, who just try, just who just forced to partition our country. They will be political, but now it's not possible. How the narratives formed by the Savarkar, how the narrative formed the Aurangzeb was good and Sesa was nice and Babar Himayun was so the name of the road in Delhi. So this is a matter of narratives. This is a matter of facts. We have to understand, and how I appeal to the Muslim scholars, so-called Islamic scholars. First, you're trying to feel that you are only safe in this Bharat. This is a new Bharat. You are never safe any part of the world. You are high respect for the Modi government and the people of country and Hindus. Already respect for you, but you never just you respect to the Hindus. You claim the Bhaichara. Sorry, we believe in the Bhaichara. You will believe in the minus Bhai, only believe in Chara. When you find the time, you will cut the heads of your brothers. This should not be tolerated now. So, but my concern is that whatever privilege you have already privileged now, the separate ministry for you, all the this privilege and given. So be now feel you are a part of India. You are Indian. Be Indian. Behave like Indian. Behave like Bharatiya, and say with the pride, Bharat Mata ki Jai, Bande Matram. What's problem in this? You should analyze yourself. Whatever honor given by the Hindus and by the government and whatever, you should realize that. There's so many concerns. I appeal. I just open to discuss each and everything. So don't use what the communal and fascist and whatever. Try to be, I think, generalize the things and just behave like an Indian, not like you are a worker of Allah. Try to understand for the sake of the humanity, for the sake of peace. A time of break, and break after break we'll talk about religious violence. Welcome the break. Just to talking about the new narrative. So, if I say talk the religious violence in Bharat, including the violence of the followers of one religious group against the followers, an institution of the other groups. So, we are secular country, but only in the books. Despite the secular and religious tolerant constitution of India, broad religious representation in various aspects of society, including the government, the active role played by the autonomous body. There is a body, National Human Rights Commission of India, and National Commission of Minorities. on the ground level work being done by non-government organization, exploring sometimes serious act of religious violence. Change to occur at the root causes of religious violence, often run deep in history, religious activities, and the politics of India. So, along with the domestic organization, international human rights organization, I think they published the report, Human Rights Watch, but I don't believe in that. Sorry, they are totally biased report on the act of this violence. The India. If you see 2005 to 99, average of 130 people died every year from the communal violence. But you will not see after 2004 any communal violence held. But narratives will be changed. How the opposition blamed? Because run by the BJP government, they are main the creator. That's why no any communal violence held. This is a nonsense. If you see the 2005 to 99, within 4 years, the average 0.1 death per 1 lakh population. The state of Maharashtra reported highest total number of religious violence related fatalities over the 5 year period. And Madhya Pradesh experienced the highest fatality rate per year 1 lakh population between 2005 to 9. And over 2012, a total of 97 people died across Bharat from various rights related to religious violence. So, U.S. Commission of International Religious Freedom classified India as type 2 in persecuting religious minorities. But why? Why not? Why not in U.S. just you trying to analyze in some that of Iraq and Egypt? In 2018 report, U.S. CIRF charged Hindu nationalist group for the campaign of saffronized India through violence, intimidation, harassment against non-Hindus. This is really nonsense. This is a new narratives formed by the U.S. Commission on Human Internal Right. They are not going the facts. They are only go so-called the media reports. So approximately one third of the state government enforced anti-conversion and anti-cow slaughters laws against non-Hindus. Why? Why not? This is our country. Whatever law implied, every Indian should obey and regard the law. But what the people, the Muslims say, no, will not obey the constitution, not obey the law, the Allah's law. What nonsense! The mobs engaged in violence against the Muslim with family are engaged in the dairy, leather and beef trades of generation against Christians for the crystallizing the cow protection. Lynch mob killed the 10 victims in 2006. Many historians argue that religious violence in independent India is legacy policy of divide and rule. The divide and rule pursued by the British colonial authorities during the era of Britain control over the Indian subcontinent. The local administrator pitted Hindus and Muslims against one another. Tactics eventually culminated in partition of India. So if you see the ancient India, I think Ashok Vandana and the Divyandana and with the Punnavardhana, and the large rich history. So in our history is a united culture, and many books has been written for that. If we to talk with the colony area, Goa, 1562-1774, first inquisitors like Das Falco and Francisco Marx established themselves and were the formerly king of Goa Palace, forcing the Portuguese viceroy to relocate the smaller residence where there is no activity of the Muslims and others. And India, the rebellion of 1857. So many reforms has been done since independence and before 1857 and before that, and the partition of Bengal, how they divided 1915, Popla rebellion, partition of British India, how they came for India and modern India, how the 1969 Gujarat communal rights, that time BJP was not there. Anti-6 right, 1984, BJP is not involved, involved by the Congress. Exodus and genocide of Kashmiri Hindus, Congress was in power. Nobody talked about that. More than 5 lakhs Pandit immigrated, more than lakhs killed. Recently, Kashmir Times film made. Nobody talked about that. Why and what for? What's problem in this? Religious involved Northeast India militancy. So there is so many issues. There is so many anti-Hindu violence, no advocate, no tolerance game will there. You say The Chamba massacre in 1998, 2002 Fizan attacks of Raghunath Temple in Gujarat, Akshardham Temple attack 2002 by Islamic terrorists, Art plus Toiva, 2006 Varanasi bombing, resulting many death and injury. Recent attacks on Hindu by Muslim mobs, including the Maharaj Mashaki and Gujarat train burning. Open fact: in August 2000, Swami Shanti Kali, a popular Hindu priest, was shot to death inside the ashram in the Indian state of Tripura. Police report regarding the incident identified 10 members of the Christian terrorist organization, NLFT being the responsible for the murder. On 4 December 2000, nearly 3 months after his death, an ashram set up by the Shanti Kali at Chachu Bazaar near the Sidhai police station were raided by the Christian militant belonging to NLFT. 11 of the priest ashram schools orphanage around the state were burned down by the NLFT. But nobody, no any cry. What for? In September 2008, Swami Lakshmananand, a popular regional Hindu guru, was murdered along the four of disciples of unknown assailants. Later, police arrested Christians in connection with the murder. Congress MP Radhakant Nayak has been also named as suspected person in murder, with some Hindu leaders calling for their arrest. Lesser incidents of religious violence happened in many towns and villages in Bharat. In October 2005, 5 people were killed in Mau in Uttar Pradesh during Muslim riotings, which was triggered by the proposed celebration of a Hindu festival. But why they did this? What for? Why they created? How it's created? You've never seen any Hindu from any part of the world initiated riots and this type of. If they are involved, that after instigation by the Muslim and other community, the matter to be noted. The long history, a long incidents. So, if you talk about the communal violence, 2005, 779 next incident, 124 deaths, and 2060 injured. And you take the 2017, 822 incidents, 111 deaths, and 2384 is injured. So this is the data. This is every year. Lower 2008, the incident 943 communal violence in the country, 167 deaths, and 23454 injured. So we can understand how the international human rights reports, how the film, so many films also made on this issue. So many references are there, but I think the religious leader of the both sides, are Hindu, Muslim, and the Christianity, and other way, and Sikh, they should understand the power of humanity, and they should teach the person concerned. This is the power of humanity. We should advocate for them, and we should go for them. That is the essence of life. That should be for the sake of humanity, for the sake of peace, global peace, world peace, as we always advocate for the peace and peace. And just you see, what is that mean? Peace. Astoma sadgamaya tamsuma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gaya loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. And with a sloka of shanti, shanti, shanti. With shanti, if there are peace, there is the meaning of peace is shanti in Hindi. And if there is peace, everything will be there. And development is there. Power is there. Energy is there. So we should advocate peace and humility for the sake of the vibrant Bharat and powerful world. So, thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.